I don't know exactly what I imagined my adult life would be like, but I certainly didn't imagine myself locked in a psych ward, cornered by a gang member, absentmindedly watching him make a shank out of a plastic spoon. My name is Kat Davis. I'm a third year from Little Rock, Arkansas, and I have bipolar 1 disorder. I realized that I was depressed because I started cutting myself when I was 13. I went to boarding school when I was 14, and when I was 16, I came home from school for mental health issues. I was going to see a therapist. At the end of 6 months, she told me that there was nothing wrong with me, and that really hindered me from ever trying to get help again. I was in the bathtub just surrounded by a pool of water and my blood. I was there for hours. I don't remember it. I'm not lucid. Just fade in and out of consciousness. I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder. I was up to 40 milligrams of Prozac within a month. I had been rapid cycling on the medication between mania and depression every single day. It led to panic attacks, just kept getting worse. I was devolving. I couldn't sleep. My anxiety was so high. I wasn't able to focus, and it was just a whole other disaster. This place is terrifying. It looks like a psychiatric ward. Bleach white walls, fluorescent lights. We weren't allowed to have anything. I wasn't allowed to have my own deodorant, underwire, and shoelaces. There were a couple people who were there to avoid jail sentences. There were people who had been in and out of hospitals for their entire life. It was horrible and I hated it so much, and it ended up being the best thing that's ever happened to me, because that's where I met this psychiatrist who diagnosed me with bipolar. The doctor told me that I had been having such severe symptoms because I was on the Prozac, and it was putting too much serotonin in my brain. I'm very adamant on taking my medication. I love hypomania, it's great, but I just know the bad parts. When I'm hypomanic, like I am right now, I just have a lot of energy. I can stay up really late and just not feel it at all. I'm pretty much always shaking. I'll stop eating, I'll go to the gym a lot, I'll get really drunk and when I shouldn't get that drunk. Having this huge inflated sense of self. The only depression that I really get is seasonal depression now. A feeling of just impending doom and just losing interest in everything. Not really wanting to get out of bed, not really wanting to get ready or do anything. If I'm really, really depressed, I'll have this sense of just existing but not feeling happiness or sadness or anything. When I'm in that phase, I'm not suicidal. I just want to cease to exist. Whereas if I'm manic, I'll make plans and I'll try to kill myself. I'd seen 11 therapists. They all tried to drag things out of my soul, and I just wasn't really talking. So instead, they suggested that I start writing. I started typing up things, and one day I looked down and I had hundreds of pages of writing. I put it together and I've made a book actually, and I've been sending it to agents. I honestly think I have the best support system ever. I'm just honestly surprised by how much people have been accepting and been able to help me. Being able to first just write it down and just be this is happening, and then being able to talk about it was the next step. It's pretty freeing, honestly, because it's not just my battle anymore. Just being able to say it just makes it less scary. It's interesting for me because it has been every day every hour, every minute, just like slugging by. But right now it's not, and I think that kind of shows people like bipolar isn't this horrible, terrible thing all the time.
Everyone has their own things, and that's just like something that I deal with.